Earlier this year, we covered Forma Brand's decision to shut down all Morphe stores in the US and Canada and file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. This was huge news that shocked a lot of people. For years, Morphe has been a staple in the beauty community. Every beauty guru going had a Morphe code. They were constantly releasing collabs with influencers.
It's Marley's favorite brushes. Oh my gosh, how freaking cute.
While influencers were the ones to really build Morphe up and make them the brand they are today, they were also the ones to tear them back down and also got them to where they are today, bankrupt. Today, we're going to talk about Forma's plans to rebuild and what they see for their brand in the future, and how what they said they were going to do kind of contradicts what they're actually doing. It's a mess, so let's get into it. If you've been involved in the beauty space on YouTube for a few years now, then you'll know how prominent Morphe was. You would be pretty hard pressed to find any influencer that wasn't pushing their Morphe code down your throat or trying to sell you a palette or a brush.
It comes in my dream packaging. This is the Master Collection. We have Eye Master, Face Master, and then we got the Big Daddy right here.
After having many years of success within the influencer space, Morphe went on to launch Forma Brands. Forma Brands was really seen as Morphe's effort to move away from relying so heavily on influencers and finally stand on their own. Morphe spent years having this mutually beneficial relationship with these influencers, where it was kind of like the influencers made Morphe popular in the first place, but Morphe also made influencers rich and built them up as well. So many influencers were handed codes and collabs that afforded them this luxury lifestyle, while also making Morphe the billion-dollar company it was. Now, the downside to relying so heavily on influencers is that influencers tend to get canceled, and that's not good for the brands associating with them. Having to choose between taking their products off the shelves and cutting ties and losing a lot of money, or keeping their products on the shelves and losing money from the people who choose not to support them because of that. It's such a sticky situation, and Morphe was finding themselves in that a lot. At least when it came to Forma, they could be more behind the scenes, building these brands that they acquired while not being in the forefront of the public eye. They had a lot of big name brands under them, with some of the most notable being Playa Hair Care and Jacqueline Cosmetics. Only 3 years after forming Forma, they officially filed for bankruptcy and closed all their Morphe stores in the US and Canada. We've covered the bankruptcy process extensively with all the court documents and everything that went down, so I'll have those videos linked down below. But for now, let's talk about the future of Forma and Morphe. Forma now has new owners. Jefferies Finance took over Forma for $690 million, and they claim that they're going to get the brand back on track. Writing, "On behalf of the entire investor group, we are pleased to complete the acquisition of Forma Brands, enabling the company to move forward in a position of financial strength. With a new capital structure that includes additional liquidity and less debt, Forma Brands is poised to return to growth and increase profitability while it continues providing customers around the globe with thoughtfully selected beauty products." Simon Cowell also remained the president of Forma Brands, and no, it's not this Simon Cowell, it's a completely different one that's actually been president for the last 4 years. He previously worked as the VP of The Body Shop during their peak in 1991 to 2007, so it's safe to say he must have a lot of experience. Simon and the 2 other higher-ups at Forma gave an interview to WWD, and he talked about the future that they want to see for Morphe. Simon made it clear that Forma no longer has any ties to neither James Charles or Jeffree Star, which were 2 very big issues for them near the end. Simon gave an interview to WWD, and he said, "The evolution is really now focused on what I call a product-first beauty brand, not an influencer-first beauty brand." And you guys know, that's completely different from what Morphe has always been known as. Morphe has always been an influencer-first brand, and honestly, I don't think they would be where they are today if they weren't. The whole reason Morphe was put on the map was because influencers were pushing the products down our throats, making them out to be the best thing ever, just so we would use their codes. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Morphe doesn't have some good products, they definitely do, but they wouldn't be where they are today without their influencer partnerships. I guess they figure it's been long enough now where they've built a strong enough customer base to stand on their own and move away from those relationships, but I don't really know. Doug Jacob, co-founder of Anvest, which is another financial company involved in Forma now, also gave a statement about the future of the brand, writing, "From the outside in, these high-level influencers that wanted to partner with Morphe was because Morphe was actually a special brand itself. But what ended up happening is we became the influencer as opposed to the brand developing what its core values are, which is why we're stepping back. We're still leveraged like every beauty brand with partners. We have fantastic partners in the celebrity space, but this brand itself deserves to stand on its own, just like other great brands in the space." But they didn't completely cut off these influencer relationships. I think deep down, they know that they need influencers to stay relevant, so they made sure to include the following. Going forward, Morphe will still tap into the influencer network, specifically TikTok, but in a much more diversified way, and the core focus will be on the products themselves. I feel like the main bulk of this article was about them wanting to stand on their own and build up their core products while moving away from these influencers. But I really haven't seen that from Morphe at all lately. In fact, Morphe actually just dropped yet another influencer collab. They definitely did tap more into the TikTok market because they teamed up with Meredith Duxbury and released an entire collection.
Get ready with me using my new Morphe X Meredith collection. The secret is out. This is my Morphe X Meredith Duxbury foaming primer. You guys know I'm the queen of foaming primer, so I had to create one for myself. Just wait until you see the other products in this collection. This is a New York City themed collection, high gloss, hot glam. You guys, I live in New York City. I live, I breathe it, and I wanted my collection to show that. Who says you can't be glammed up poolside? Like, that's hot. That is hot. She's sitting on an NYC rooftop, daiquiri in hand. This is my child right here. And the texture, like, who says we can only wear sunscreen in the summer, huh? We are glamming up. If there's one thing I love, it is a full beat. And this collection, she's gonna give it to you, honey. I even added the mirror to the 35 pan because we do not play around here. But that is not all, you guys. Go to part 2.
But switching over to TikTokers isn't saving them from some controversy. A lot of people are saying that they cannot support Morphe after how they treated their employees when they closed down the stores. Most of the employees were given no notice, they weren't filled in on anything that was happening, and they were made to deal with these massive sales while having people come in and talking about all these rumors about the store closing when they weren't even told that themselves. One person wrote, "The only thing I can think about is how Morphe treated their employees during this whole bankruptcy thing. And of course, all the lies concerning this brand. I would never buy anything from them again, and I hope that nobody else does. There are other affordable, good brands out there." Another person said, "I wish it wasn't Morphe. This is so cute, but I can't support them after how they treated their employees with extremely little to no notice." For the people who have supported Meredith's Morphe collection, so far, I've actually only seen positive things about it.
So this is part 2 of me trying Meredith Duxbury's foaming face primer that she has with Morphe. I'm going to do like basically like a test to see how my foundation sits on top of it. So good, you guys. It's not pilling at all, which is what we want. Okay, so this is what it's looking like so far. I feel like it's sitting really nicely over top of the primer. I have no complaints so far, but I'm gonna finish off the rest of the blending. Okay, so I don't think this is bad at all. I actually kind of like it, so I most likely will be using it again.
Which, as you guys know, is a much different outcome compared to when YouTubers were collabing with Morphe. There always seemed to be some issue, but for the most part, everything seems to be going smoothly. The only negative thing I've seen is some people seem to be having a little bit of issue with the pump in the foaming primer.
Meredith has a new collab with Morphe, and one of the products is this foaming face primer. Look how stinking cute it is. It says to shake and then gently press on the nozzle. Am I doing something wrong? Do I have to twist it? Okay, nothing's happening. I'm actually so bummed because like I was so excited to try this. Like a foaming face primer. I tried hitting it on my hand and something's happening, but still nothing's coming out. What do we think?
As for the future of Morphe, I can definitely see them continuing to go down the path of TikTok influencers and trying to turn all of them into the next Jaclyn Hill. I think they're just done with YouTubers and all the drama that comes along with them. It sounds like things are even undecided when it comes to Forma Brands' Jaclyn Cosmetics. Jaclyn Hill, who's the face of Jaclyn Cosmetics, said she doesn't really know what the future holds for that brand, and we learned from court documents that it doesn't seem to be high priority for Forma.
As for Jaclyn Cosmetics goes, honestly, you guys, I don't know the future of my brand. I really don't. I mean, because of everything that I've said to you this entire video, I really don't know. I mean, I really stepped away and I really just did the bare minimum, and I was given such an incredible opportunity to be in Ulta stores, and I've done the bare minimum supporting my brand in Ulta, which is crazy because that's literally my dream.
I think they just want to start fresh, and my guess is we'll end up seeing them cut Jaclyn Cosmetics off sooner than later, especially since she said it herself. She hasn't been involved and she doesn't put any effort into that brand anymore. Forma has a whole new group of influencers over on TikTok who are new and ready to pump out collabs, so I'm sure that's where the money is right now. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about everything down below. Do you think Morphe will stick to their plan and focus on building up their products and standing on their own? Or do you think they'll see the success of Meredith's collab and venture more into TikTok collabs? Could you see TikTokers becoming the next YouTubers for Morphe? Or do you think most influencers on TikTok know about Morphe's history and want to stay far away? Let me know, and I'll see you next time.